Hello everyone, myself Pushpalata, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, SJBIT. Today we are going to discuss about Python application programming concepts, dictionaries. Suppose you are given a string and you want to count how many times that each letter appears. We have a defined method in dictionary. Dictionaries can be used as a set of counters. We wrote a function that counted the number of occurrences of a letter in a string. In more general version of this problem is that you can create or you can form a histogram, and using the histogram of the letters in the string, that is, we'll come to know that how many times each letter has appeared. Such kind of histograms might be useful for compressing the text file, because different letters appear in different frequencies, right? So we can make use of the histograms, and we can compress a file by using shorter codes for common letters and longer codes for letters that appear less frequently. And dictionaries provide an elegant way to generate a histogram. Now when we talk about dictionaries as a counters, then we have several methods to count the characters in a word, among which first one, create 26 variables for each characters. That is an alphabet starting from A to Z of 26 variables for each alphabet, traverse through the given string, then increment corresponding to the variable or given counter. Second thing is you create a list with 26 elements, convert each character into numbers which possess the index. Now increment the appropriate counter so that you can count how many number of characters are there in the given word. Third way is to create a dictionary with characters such as keys and counters as the corresponding values. For a key value pair, the key is a character and counter is a value. Okay, so add an item to the dictionary and increment the value. These are the several methods that you can use to count. So dictionary can be used as a set of counters. Now each of these options performs the same computation, but each of these methods implements the computation in a different way. So when we talk about the implementation is basically, it is a way of performing computation. So how basically we are performing the computation. So it is the way of performing the computation. You can call it as implementation. Some implementations are better than others. And for example, here we have an advantage of the dictionary implementation. That is, we don't have to know ahead which letter appear in the string. Okay, and we also have a room for the letters that do appear. Now when we talk about the implementation of histogram of words using the dictionary, here is a program. We are effectively computing the histogram, which is a statistical term for a set of counters. Here the for loop, whatever we have used, it is going to traverse through the string. The string we have taken is a word variable assigned with the string, that is Brontosaurus, and we are creating a dictionary dict and traversing through each and every character of the word. Now we are checking if C is not in D. Then you increment the D of C is equal to 1. Initialize it to 1. Else you increment it by 1. So every time the key value will be checked. If it is appearing in the dictionary, it will be incremented. If it is not appearing in the dictionary, it will be assigned with the value called 1. So print D. So finally you will be printing how many number of times the count will be there or with respect to each variable, each character in a string. So each time the loop which is used in the program traverses through the character. If the character C is not in the dictionary, then we are going to create a new item with the key which is called as C. If at all C is already there, that means if the character is already there in the uh, dictionary, then it will be incremented. Okay, so this is how the histogram can be effectively generated, and the output is shown below, where you can see that each character is initialized to 1 if it is not present in the dictionary, and it is incremented by 1 if it is already present in the dictionary. Dictionaries have a method called get that is basically used uh, to take a key and return the corresponding value. So whenever get method, this gets the key, it takes the key and it is going to return the corresponding value for the key. Now the program here, whatever we have given as an example, uh, consider that I have a variable count assigned with a dictionary key value pair. Here I have three dictionary words, keywords, that is Chuck, Annie, and Jan, each assigned with the value 1, 42 and 100. Now when I print counts dot get Jan, so get of Jan, the value of the Jan will be obtained and it will be displayed. Similarly, if we are going to give any other word apart from the dictionary, it will return a value called none. So we can use get to write our histogram loop more concisely, because basically when we use get method, automatically it handles the case where key is not in a dictionary, and we can reduce the number of lines, or reduce 4 lines down to 1 and eliminate the if statement. So how basically we use get method in to write our histogram loop. Consider this example. Here we make use of get method to simply this counting loop ends up being a very commonly used idiom in Python, and we will use it many times in the rest of the times. Here in the example, we have a variable word which is assigned with the string value. You initialize a dictionary. For C in word, you are checking each word and you are getting the value corresponding to that particular character, and finally it is incremented by 1. So here the idiom if in loop can be eliminated completely by using the get method. So you have an argument in the get method, and if I provide the respective character along with the value, will be the value of the respective character will be obtained, and every time the count will be, the character count will be incremented by 1, and it is going to print the D for all the characters in the given string word. So this is the best way that you can use it, in such a way that we are completely avoiding the utilization of the if statement and in operator within the loop. Okay, and we are replacing it completely with a one-line statement of get method. So the operation of both is almost the same using get and if in loop. Consider the next topic, dictionaries and files. One of the common uses of dictionary is to count the occurrence of the words which is given in a file with which has some written text. Let us start that I have a very simple file. The file comprises of some list of words. Okay. Now let me consider here as an example, we have taken up some written text. Okay. And we will use a simplified version of the text with no punctuation. Okay. So let me consider that I have a text file with no punctuation. So this is an example file that I have chosen. Okay. So how basically I perform counting the letters or words in the given file. So we will write a Python program to read through the lines of the file. Then first we read the lines of the file, then break each line into a list of words. Soon after the list of words is obtained, okay, loop through each word in the line, count the each word using a dictionary. Okay, so how many times the respective word has occurred, you can get a count. So this is how this happens whenever I make use of a text file with no punctuation mark. And these are the steps that we use to count the occurrences of the word in a text file using dictionaries and files. Here in this we have taken an example where the text file name is romeo.txt with no punctuation included. Let us consider we make use of a combination of two nested loops, and basically this ensures that we will count every word on every line of the input file which is provided. Now in this program we have initialized a file name. We are asking the user to enter the file name. After the user has entered the file name, we are using a try except method to check the file name. If it is available, it will open the file, else it will send a message saying that file cannot be opened. So this is basically to avoid the error which is happening in opening the file. After that, we are initializing the dictionary and checking each line of the file. Once if the file is existing in the folder, the file is open. After opening the file, you are traversing through each and every line of the file, and each line is split into number of words. And once the number of words are splitted, we are going to create in the form of a list. So list comprises of each word of a line. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are creating one more loop. So loop inside a loop, we call it as a nested loop. Now in the second loop, we are trying to check each word whether it is there or not. If the word is not in counts, then you assign the value of the word with 1, else you assign or increment the count of the specific word by 1. And this happens until unless all the words in a line is counted. Second thing, this specific thing happens for all the lines in the file. So there are two loops. After executing both the loops, it comes out of the loop and print the counts of each and every word which is present in the text file. So the result is displayed here. First, the user will be asked to enter the file name. After entering the file name, then according to the program, the result will be displayed like this. Each word existing in the file with the number of counts will be displayed. Okay, so this is one of the way that you can generate a histogram of the string file, strings or the file which comprises of a text. If we use a dictionary as a sequence in a for statement, then it traverses through the keys of dictionary. This loop prints each key and its corresponding value. So here in the program, we have initialized a variable. This variable is assigned with the key value pair of the dictionary by name Chuck, Annie, Jan, and which are having a specific value assigned. When the loop starts, for each key in the variable counts, it is going to print the key along with the count or the value of the respective key. Now, when we can see that when the result or the output is displayed, the keys are not in a particular order. Okay, so the list or the dictionary, whatever we have mentioned, is beginning with Chuck, Annie, and Jan. But when we actually display the result, the order of the result is changed. So we can use this pattern to implement various loop idioms that we have described. I think we have discussed about these things in the earlier case also. For example, if we wanted to find all the entries in the dictionary with a value called about 10. Okay, now here I am just checking that I have a list. I want to print only those values which is having the value about 10. Now for that, the simple example program is shown here. We have counts is equal to the dictionary key value pair mentioned. For each key in the count, you are checking if there is a condition check for whether it is key value is greater than 10. If it is satisfying or if the value is greater than 10, then it is going to print only those keys with a specific value which is greater than 10. And in the result, you can see only Jan and Annie, which is greater than 10 key value is there. So it is going to print only those values which is greater than 1. Okay, so this is what we can see, only the entries with the value above 10. Now let us talk about if we want to print the keys in alphabetical order. Okay, so here is a program where we are printing the keys in alphabetical order. Okay, in the dictionary we are using the key value pairs but not in an order. So how can we print the keys in an alphabetical order? Now first what we are going to do is, first we make a list of keys in the dictionary using the key method available. Second thing is we sort that list and loop through the list. After looking up each key, then it is printed out, okay, the key value pairs, which is again you can see the sorted order. Now let us see the program. We have a counts is equal to the key value pair of the dictionary. Since it is not in a proper alphabetical order, what we are going to do is, you first create a list of it. Okay, make a list of the keys which is available in the dictionary, and I will take count values of the respective keys and I make a list of it. Then what I do, I will print the list. Okay, after that we will apply a sort method. Once we apply a sort method, all the keys and the values will be applied with the alphabetical order, and for once the key sort method is applied and you check for a key in the list. Okay, so once you check, whether the key is present in the check list, then you print the key and the corresponding value. See, first we are going to create a list of only those keys. Okay, next we are printing accordingly. After applying the sort method, you apply the sort method. Once it is sorted, then you find out those keys in the list and try to print only the values along with the keys. Okay, so you can see that Annie, Chuck, Jan all are in the alphabetical order. So that is how the output looks in this case. Next, we talk about advanced text parsing. In the previous example, we try to make use of a text file that is called as romeo.txt, correct? So which was considered to be with no punctuation, if we can remember. Here we have a text file. We made this file as simple as uh, earlier case with no punctuation. Now we are going to consider the actual text with lots of punctuation. With lots of punctuation, then how we are going to parse? So this is the advanced text parsing method. Here are the text content, which is comprises of all the punctuation marks, and how to remove this punctuation marks and deal with the capital letters. Okay, so for that we have an option where we try to make use of the Python split function, which looks for the spaces. Okay, so we make use of Python split function, and it is going to check for the spaces, and it treats each word in that particular text as tokens, okay, which is separated by the spaces. Then say for example, if I have a word soft, here if you can see, okay, I have a word soft, okay, and I'll write this soft. Okay, now this is first word and this is a second word. These are different words, okay, and you can create a separate dictionary entry for each word. Okay, so there is a differentiation between this and the soft word, other soft word. Okay, and also since we are looking for capitalization, we would treat the words like who and who separately, because this is a small letter word and this is a capital letter word. Okay, so these are the different words with different counts. Now we can also solve both these problems by using a string methods like lower. We can make use of lower. We can make use of punctuation, and we can also use a translate method to translate the words. Okay, so basically it is translate is a most subtle of the methods. Here we make use of documentation for translate. So how basically we use it is, we try to make translation uh, by replacing the characters, okay, which is there in the string. Say for example, we replace the characters in from string with the character in the same position in to string, and delete all the characters that are in delete string. Okay, that means from string is your old value, to string is your new value, and delete all those parameters, or delete all those empty strings, okay, by using the delete string, or all those characters that are in delete string. Now here the from string and to string can be the empty string also, okay, and delete string parameter that time can be eliminated, or it can be omitted. Here we will not specify the table, but we will use the delete characters. Okay, so delete characters parameter to delete all of the punctuation. Fine. So when I make use of delete str, this delete string is going to delete the all punctuation, and we will also even let Python tell us the list of characters that it considers for punctuation. Okay. Now here in the example for this, we let us consider the example.